American business is in the relationship era, and companies that can't cope are going to lose big, says Doug Levy, co-author of the new book, Can't Buy Me Like. He's here to tell us all about it. Welcome, Doug. Now, I've heard about Can't Buy Me Love. That's the Beatles song. What do you mean by Can't Buy Me Like?
What I mean is that money can no longer buy brand power. That used to be the formula. You could spend money on paid advertising. Marketers could shape the message, and if they did a decent job, they could have very strong, powerful brands, but no more.
Now, in the book, you talk about the, quote, relationship era. How do social networking sites like LinkedIn and Facebook, how do they play into this relationship era?
Well, they play significantly. It used to be that brands could shape that message, but now people who love a brand or hate a brand have a giant megaphone to spread the word, in part because of social media sites like that. So smart marketers are realizing that and not only learning how to use those tools, but at a deeper level, they're changing the mindset with which they approach marketing.
In the book, you talk about Citigroup, Citibank in particular, being very smart with their connections, with their relationships. Now, this is kind of surprising because they get kicked around a lot on Wall Street. So why don't you talk about that example?
Yeah, sure. You know, and sometimes it's companies or brands that are in the most pain that realize they need to change the most. And I think that was the case with Citi. They realized that they hadn't been listening to their customers. They had customers that were particularly unhappy. And so I believe they really did start listening and then making some changes based on what they heard.
Another example you give in the book is Panera Bread. Didn't hear a lot of complaining about Panera Bread. Tell me about the example. Why are they connecting so well with customers?
You know, and they're in an industry, the quick service restaurant industry, that's known for cutting costs, greater efficiency, not necessarily humanity. But Panera is really the exception to the rule. They've got 1,600 bakery cafes. They have some unique ways of doing business. They
make
really,
a damn good sandwich.
They do that, and they make fresh bread every morning with which to make a great sandwich and donate the leftovers at the end of the day. They have fresh organic ingredients, and you might think all that money on exceptional customer service, taking care of your community, that's got to be hurting them financially. But no, quite the opposite. The average Panera Cafe has grown revenue from 1.1 million to 2.4 million. While the Dow Jones has grown 13% over the last 5 years, Panera's stock is up over 320%.
What about P&G? So they're classic for their brand managers and their old school marketing. How are they adapting to this new relationship era?
Yeah, it's a good question. P&G is a client of mine. I run an agency called Me+You. And what we're learning in the relationship era is that the brands and companies that care about something bigger than selling their product sell more of their product. P&G's given it a try. So with a brand like Secret Deodorant, by the way, this is a deodorant brand. Why would anyone want a deep relationship
Deodorant's important.
It is, but not necessarily something you would think about having a reason for being. We helped them get clear on the reason for being around helping women be fearless. And then by bringing that front and center into how they connect with customers, sales went through the roof.
All right, quickly, finally, who's doing it wrong?
Well, McDonald's is doing it wrong recently. And by the way, this is an example of how it's not just about new technology. They had a campaign on Twitter where they invited people to share real stories. What they were hoping for is pretty packaged stories, not the reality of some people's experience at McDonald's. You got to be honest and you got to be authentic. Customers can sense it.
All right, thanks a lot, Doug.
Enjoyed the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you for watching The Street.